The ninth house. The ninth house has to do with higher learning, traveling, learning about other cultures. And when I say traveling, I mean long distance traveling as opposed to short distance traveling, which is the third house. It also has to do with higher learning, and higher learning means like explorations of the mind. And a lot of times that can lead to spirituality. But a lot of times that could also just be like going to college or going to some kind of new institution where you're learning more information or learning a trade or something like that. That's can lead to career situations. And so the ninth house is associated with Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of abundance and growth and like expansion. So when you think of the ninth house and Sagittarius and Jupiter, it's where after we've been in the eighth house and we've kind of confronted some of our demons, so to speak, the ninth house is where we're like learning more about the world and more about each other in terms of like cultures and the world as a whole. And also like why, kind of like the questions of like, it does deal with spirituality as well as like the 12th house, but in the sense of like actively learning about religions more so, I would say, or about other cultures and other countries and things like that. So with higher learning, you know, knowledge really is power. So to me, it makes a lot of sense that it follows the eighth house, because in learning, we empower ourselves. So I think a lot of times what brings us to the ninth house is when we need to like evolve in our lives and when we need to like grow, which is why it's associated with Jupiter. So I think, you know, along with every house, the waves of our lives, the currents, kind of always lead us to different houses depending on the transits that come in and dependent on our placements. So if you have a placement in the ninth house, it means that you definitely either have a special skill for higher learning. Maybe you've had higher learning in the past. If you have like your south node there, for example, you were probably someone who was like someone who spoke and taught in a higher learning sense, like a prophet type person, like a scribe, someone who teaches, who has a lot of knowledge. But like, let's say you had Mars there, you could have a real drive for higher learning. And that could really push you into different careers and maybe end up publishing a book or something someday on your experiences. When I think of like Sagittarius, I think like a good example is like those creators, like those cooking chefs who like go all over the world to try all the different dishes, to experience the culture as well as the dishes, like to experience it real time. And that's very heavy Sagittarius. So and when I say like long distance traveling, it's not only for learning about other cultures. It could be that you just are someone who loves to travel as well. So yeah, so it's ninth house.